The fluorescent lights in the office hummed, a low, relentless buzz that had long ago blended into the background noise of my working life. I was hunched over the Adams file, a stack of papers that felt heavier than the flimsy cardstock suggested. Mr. Adams, accused of a lot of things really, but mostly of making his wife vanish into thin air. No body, no concrete weapon, just a whole lot of circumstantial whispers and a very convincing prosecutor. This was my big break, they'd said, an impossible case for a new intern lawyer like me, Emily Vance. A chance to prove myself, to show them I wasn't just smart, but meticulous. And I was. Meticulous to a fault, some might say. My fingers traced the lines of an old deposition, looking for something, anything. I always used a red pencil, sharp and exact, to underline key phrases, to connect fragmented thoughts. It was my system, my anchor. I liked the control. I turned another page, my eyes scanning a paragraph detailing some ancient land use clause that somehow, impossibly, tied into Mr. Adams' inherited property. And then I saw it. A small, dark smudge, like a drop of ink, right over the word justice. It wasn't large, barely noticeable, but it was there. And the thing was, I knew, with that cold certainty you get when you've spent 100 hours staring at the same document, it hadn't been there before. The ink looked fresh, like someone had just, right then, pressed down a pen onto the page. I even leaned in a little, sniffing, and yeah, there was a faint metallic smell, like new ink. I frowned, a sigh escaping my lips. Probably just a spill, I thought. Maybe Mark from the next cubicle had been careless with his coffee mug. Or some old printer had spat out a rogue droplet. Happens, right? Happens all the time. I grabbed a tissue from the dispenser on my desk, a little square of white paper, and carefully, gently, dabbed at the smudge. But the ink didn't spread. It didn't lift. Instead, as I pulled the tissue away, the stain was gone, vanished, and in its place, just beneath the word justice, was a fine, uneven line, a scratch, not drawn, not printed, but etched into the paper itself. I ran my fingertip over it, and yes, I could feel the microscopic ridge, a shallow furrow where the paper fibers had been disturbed. My fingers started to tremble, just a little. A nervous tick, I told myself. Too much coffee, maybe. Or just the sheer pressure of this Adams case getting to me. Yeah, that had to be it. I stood up, walked quickly, almost marched, to Mark's office. His door was ajar, and I saw him hunched over his own mountain of case files, glasses perched on his nose. "Mark?" I asked, my voice a little too sharp. He looked up, startled. "Emily, what's up?" I held out the page, my hand still shaking faintly. "Look, there was an ink spot, right here, on justice. I tried to wipe it, and now it's this scratch. I swear it wasn't there before. And the ink smelled fresh, Mark, like new." Mark took the paper, his fingers brushing mine, cool and steady. He peered at it, then squinted. He even held it up to the light from his window. He gave me a slow, patient smile, the kind you give to a child who's just told you a very long, very improbable story. "Emily," he said, and his voice was gentle, too gentle. "You're probably just exhausted. The Adams file, it's a beast. Some of these documents are decades old, some even older. Paper fades, gets stained, gets scratched. It's normal wear and tear, truly. You should go home, get some sleep. You're working yourself to the bone." He handed the paper back, his eyes distant, almost glassy, like he was looking at me, but not really seeing me. Just tired. Just overworked. That's what he saw. I nodded, feeling a flush creep up my neck, embarrassed. Of course, he was right. I was tired, so incredibly tired. I shuffled back to my own office, the page feeling heavy, accusing, in my hand. I placed it back into the file, trying to ignore the faint line under justice. I sat down, feeling the soft pliancy of my chair. I glanced at the Adams file again. My eyes paused on a specific page, a witness testimony from a Mrs. Gable, something about Mr. Adams' strange habits. There was a paragraph in her statement, 2, maybe 3 lines, that had been completely crossed out. Not with my red pencil, no. This was a pale, faded blue ballpoint pen, a thin, wavering line like someone had pressed down too lightly, then faded away. And I knew it, again. I had never, ever seen that crossout before. I'd read this testimony a dozen times, every word, every single word. My mind raced. Had it always been there, just so faint I missed it? But my red pencil worked fine, bold and bright. How could a blue pen mark be so hard to see? My head throbbed. I closed my eyes, trying to clear the fog. Too much caffeine, too little sleep. Yeah, that was it. I stood up, needing to stretch, to get the kinks out of my shoulders. My back was stiff from hours bent over the desk. I twisted from side to side, my neck cracking softly. When I looked back at my desk, my office chair was, well, it was pulled out, just a little. Usually, I pushed it in, perfectly aligned with the desk edge. That was my thing, order, precision. But now, it sat a couple of inches back, and there was a shallow dent in the cushion, as if someone had just stood up from it. My chair hadn't done that on its own. And then, I felt it, a faint warmth clinging to the fabric, like someone had been sitting there just moments before. I stared at it, my heart starting to hammer, just a little. No, I must have pulled it out myself, unconsciously, when I stood up. And the warmth? The office was heated, wasn't it? Maybe it was just the residual heat from my own body, clinging there. I just didn't notice it before. I was tired. Mark was right. I decided to distract myself, to focus on something concrete. I needed to draft a crucial legal memo, tightening up an argument about the property rights. My fingers flew across the keyboard, the words coming easily, logically. I needed a specific detail, an article from the state constitution, to solidify my point. I typed, Article 3B, State Constitution, my gaze fixed on the screen, ready to see the familiar text appear. But something flickered. When I looked up, the words weren't what I typed. It read, Article 3B, Dead Article. My breath hitched. I blinked. No, that couldn't be right. A typo? I frowned, my fingers poised over the backspace key. It was a strange typo, though. The word dead appearing like that? I deleted it, all of it, and typed it again, slower, more deliberately. Article 3B, State Constitution. This time, the flicker was faster, and when the text appeared again, it was Article 3B, Damn Article. My blood ran cold. It wasn't about the temperature in the room. It was a chill from the inside out, a deep, unsettling cold that seeped into my bones. My mouth went dry, suddenly coated in cotton. The room felt like it was closing in, the walls subtly shifting, leaning just an inch or two, pressing on me. My heart was a frantic drum against my ribs. I couldn't speak, couldn't utter a sound. My throat was tight, blocked. This wasn't a typo. This wasn't fatigue. My hands were shaking, badly now. I fumbled for my phone, unlocked the screen, and aimed the camera at my monitor. Click. The image was saved. Article 3B, Damn Article.
I stared at the picture on my phone screen, and the realization hit me like a physical blow. This wasn't a software glitch. This wasn't me being tired or seeing things. This was targeting me, directly. It was taking the very tools of my profession, language, legal documents, my computer, and twisting them, turning them against me. It was playing with my perception, with my sanity. I carefully, slowly placed my phone down on the desk. And then, about half a second later, from the far, empty corner of my office, I heard it. A soft, distinct click. Exactly like the sound my phone had just made when I set it down. I froze, my entire body locked up. Not a sound. My eyes darted to the corner where the shadows deepened, swallowing the light. Nothing, no one, just that sound. A perfectly mimicked sound from nothing, from nowhere. My ears throbbed, my veins felt like ice. I scrambled out of my chair, the sudden movement nearly sending me sprawling. I needed to get out, just needed to get some air. The office felt like it was suffocating me. I stepped into the deserted hallway. The long corridor stretched out, the fluorescent lights still humming their ceaseless tune. All was quiet, save for the faint murmur of a voice. Mr. Miller's voice, my boss. His office door was closed, but his voice carried, calm and even, through the thick wood. He was on the